Now, let's dive in deeply into verse 13. Shon, this is
we've been building to this.
Everything that we've done up to this point in his message has kind of prepared for, this is one of the biggest signposts for Jeremiah, this verse right here.
So let's read it. For my people have committed two evils. So what are these evils that they're going to have committed? Another way to put this might be two stupidities. That may be too strong, right? I don't know. No, evils is good, but it's full. What is going on here? Why would anybody do this? They have forsaken the fountain of living waters, and that's gotta have all kinds of later echoes for us. Think of Jesus talking to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well in John 5, and I will bring up fountains of living water in you, but you have to be connected to me. Even Alma 32, it's not waters, but it's instead of 1 Nephi 8, where you go to the tree and you eat the fruit, now you're planting the seed in you and you become a tree of life. So all kinds of scriptural echoes of this. But you've got, and the thing they needed most in the ancient world was water. Right? You have to have water. You can go a little while without food, but water does not go so well. And they're like, ooh, there's something over there. I'm going to go live out in the desert because there was this great flash flood out there. And now look at it.
Or a mirage.
Yes, yeah, well said, well said. And I've got this constantly replenishing source of water, but, and I'm going to just leave that behind.
I want to walk away from it.
Yeah. And how often is that what we do, right?
So that's the first stupid thing they do, is reject the living water that's endlessly and always available to them.
I'm going to go for those things that actually will betray me in the end and let the thing go that I can trust, because there's something new out there. There's something different. This is what I know. Let me go get the thing that I don't know. And curiosity is a good thing, right? So don't get me wrong, but to forsake the living waters. And then the second one is, where did it go? And hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that hold no water. So not only are they going to reject the source of water, but their repositories
that full of holes.
Is full of holes. So you put water in it, and you haven't created a system that can hold the water. The water comes in and leaves immediately because you haven't done the small amount of work to hold this life-preserving thing, right? We could do a lot with this application-wise, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So on a scale, as far as the size is concerned, you could have huge underground cisterns, as big as you want to hew them out, all the way down to smaller vessels, right?
Yeah, right.
And the point being, even if you've collected the rain that comes during the rainy season, which in the Holy Land is traditionally what? December, January timeframe, February, they get on average these days, 24 inches of rain, somewhere in there. In Jerusalem. In comparison, I believe London gets roughly 22 inches of rain per year. The difference is in Jerusalem, it all comes in a pretty quick timeline. So they would go to all this work of hew out this cistern, collect all this rainwater when it comes, so that now, during those dry months of the year, we've got all we need. But if your cistern has cracks in it, you've put your hope and your faith in something that won't sustain you. And when the drought comes and those hot months of the year come and you need water for you and your animals and your crops, it's all seeped away. There are holes in your conversion, and there's no water in the well.
So you think, and this takes more effort. This doesn't take a whole lot of effort. Just go fix it up. But no, I got other things I'm worried about. And so I don't know what we would liken this to. Is this spending a weekend at General Conference? But then what do you do to maintain, to get use out of that the next 6 months? So you think about daily scripture study and daily devotion. You think about, wait, I've gone to take the sacrament, but then the rest of the week, I just ignore it, and it's like a giant hole at the bottom. You dump in power, and it just flows right out because you're not doing anything to appreciate it, to accept it, to use it in your life.
Which is such a beautiful principle. When I don't go to church because I can check a box because it's the socially acceptable thing to do. I go to church because my cistern needs repair and I don't have the power to repair it. I go with a whole bunch of other people who are struggling with their cisterns as well, and we have a sacrament experience where we invite the Lord in to help us fix those breaches in our cisterns of faith and hope and conversion to Him.
Not only to repair it, but to fill it full, to overflowing. I'll add to this that in your life, God will allow you to suffer and struggle. And what is He doing? He is carving out cisterns in your soul, which He can then fill to overflowing. And without that cistern, you can't fully experience the atonement of Jesus Christ, the everlasting atonement. So when you're being carved out in those painful life experiences, just know God is intending to fill that to the brim with the everlasting waters of His love, and it will be sweet after you've experienced the bitter.
Now, it's a slightly, that was beautiful, and a slightly different analogy than probably the one Jeremiah is doing, but would be things we put in our cistern that aren't everlasting water. So that's a little bit of a different approach, but how often do? We put things that actually don't give life in the place that's needed. And we had talked about this when I was with you for Isaiah, this idea, there's a hole in our soul, and that hole is Christ-shaped. Christ and the gospel is what fills this up, and other things are really good too, but that is what's going to help this really have value.
And back to Jeremiah, Jeremiah is saying through the Lord is saying through Jeremiah, the problem is people have created their own cisterns full of holes instead of letting God carve those out, God creating those in His image. So we need to let God work in our own lives instead of rejecting the everlasting waters and creating our own holes in life, hoping that the world will fill it. They will. It'll be junk, and it'll be really painful.